cells, and you can see that the little dots around the cells. So this is a cell sheet, and this is a cell monomer that's being infected with the virus.
I'd just like to start by saying how pleased we are to have been able to grow this virus in a very short space of time directly from a patient sample, and that's an art. And I guess Julian is the artist who you'll possibly hear about on the technical detail, but much more importantly that we've moved immediately to share this with our international colleagues to provide a toolkit that complements the modern molecular techniques that are so useful in diagnosis and development of vaccines and medicines. The virus can be used in the assessment of the effectiveness of vaccines particularly, and of medicines. It also gives us the opportunity to create a first generation antibody test, and that's important both in the clinical management of patients who may be late in the illness and past the point where they're shedding the virus that we detect with molecular techniques, and it's also really important for us to look at things like asymptomatic infection with the virus, that possibility, or mild infection that hasn't come to the attention of health authorities, and those patients haven't been tested and identified as cases. So really an antibody test is the only way to answer some of those important epidemiological questions, which get you to questions of how many cases and how does the number of deaths relate to the number of cases that you're seeing on the ground. So. And then the next thing we do is to then ampule up, and this is Julian's territory more than mine, ampule up the virus itself for sharing with expert laboratories that are recommended to us by the World Health Organization as the first internationally with which the virus could be shared. So we'll work closely with WHO and take their advice on who should receive the virus first.
So you can see that the cells actually die in the progression of infection, and so that's how we know the virus is happening. And we've used the same test on that material that we use in patients to assess the level of virus so that we know that the burden of virus or the amount of virus present is going up, and so we can prove that the virus is growing.